We're going to show you how to plant, grow and harvest heaps of bananas in the tropics of far north Queensland, Australia. Hi, I'm Debbie and welcome to Vintage Food Farm. I am going to show you how we do bananas on our self-sufficient block in far north Queensland, Australia, and I'm going to show you how we use the whole plant. Nothing is wasted.
So today we're going to take down an awesome bunch of bananas. What you'll see with this bunch of bananas, you'll see that they're still green, but you'll see the shape. They're nice, they're round, they're plump, and you can also see the actual banana plant itself is leaning over a fair bit. So you'll see these bananas, they're still green, they're not quite yellow yet, but you want to take them down now before they get yellow, because as soon as they start to yellow up a little bit and ripen up a little bit on the plant itself, you see the birds starting to come in and they absolutely love to eat the bananas. So normally when I take down a bunch of bananas, what I do is just use the machete and chop halfway into the trunk of the bananas. Then the actual banana bunch itself and the trunk starts to lay over a little bit, and it's really nice, gentle, easy. You can lay it down on the ground, take your bananas off and then go and hang them up. Unfortunately, what we've got today is the actual bananas we want to bring down are sitting right above another banana plant. Now that banana plant has got a really big flower coming out and another bunch of bananas forming up. We don't want to knock one plant down when we take out these bananas. So because of that bunch sitting right above that other banana plant, what I'm going to use today is I'm going to actually use the pruning pole, and what I'll do is I'll cut the trunk down quite low and just try and gently lower the bananas down, but actually move it out of the way of the other plant, and then we'll take the bananas off once that goes onto the ground. So this is the bunch of bananas we're going to take down today. You can see that shape there. The bananas themselves are really plumping up. They're looking really good. And you can see in the colour, it's starting to bring in a slight shade of yellow there. So they're right to come down today. If you have a look at this bunch here, these are still quite young, quite immature. They've got a while to go before they really plump up. You'll see they're really quite small, angular in the skin. So yeah, that'll be a couple more months before those guys are ready to come down. This is the bunch we really want to try and make sure we can save today. So this is a flower coming out. You can see the bananas. We've got quite a few hands that have come out already, but still quite a few more to go. That's a nice big flower. That's going to be a nice big bunch. Just to show you how many bananas we've got out of these plants here, you can see here this is our fourth one, including the one we've got coming down today. So these guys are not too far away from coming down, but it's really good how we've got one bunch after the other. So we really won't be out of bananas. Once we finish one bunch, we'll be able to take down the next, and we've got a whole other bunch to go. So I'm going to bring this bunch down now, but what I want to do first, because it's just so close to this other plant with the flower that's coming out, what I'll do is I'll just take down some of the leaves just so they don't get tangled up, just trying to make it easier. And what I'm going to do is I'll slowly cut it and actually bring the bunch across to me, hopefully, fingers crossed, and just lay it down in the ground just here. But that's the plan. Let's just see what reality brings us.
So all of these banana leaves that Tim is cutting down, we'll actually just feed those to the chickens, so there's absolutely no waste at all. The other way you can tell when bananas are ready to cut down is once the banana trunk has produced one bunch of bananas, that's the end, and then it just sort of rots and dies. And this one is fairly flexible and fairly weak, so I think it is time to get these bananas down before that tree falls down. So Tim's cutting these leaves off so that they don't get caught in the leaves of the plant that we want to save and stop the tree from falling down and pull the other tree down as well. You can see, I don't know if you can see the sap dripping down. So at the top of the banana tree, there is a lot of sap. In the base, there's not, which is why it makes it really good for feeding chickens. But when you are cutting down bananas, do not wear good clothes, because once that sap gets in your clothes, you cannot get it out. Tim has to be really careful doing this because this tree is actually really heavy. It's filled with water. That's it. So he's got it away from this good tree that we wanted to save. And now he's just lowering it down. You can see how heavy it is. And we also don't want the bananas to hit the ground too hard. That's it. Look at that. That one's still there.
That worked really well. I am so surprised. Very happy.
So now Tim is going to cut off the bananas and we're going to take them and we'll show you how we hang them so that they can ripen up and get ready to eat. And then he is going to chop up the trunk and we'll show you what we do with a banana trunk. There is no waste at all. That is a beautiful bunch of bananas. Gorgeous. I'll tell you something else that happens when you pick bananas. Guaranteed there is a massive spider inside that bunch. And we used to take them straight into the house, but we've now stopped. Just a wire hook. A beauty. Okay, let's go hang them up. You can see how wet it is. We're now in the wet season. Orchid. Beautiful, beautiful orchid. So we're just hanging them in a cool, dry place, and in a few days they will be ripe. How gorgeous is that? It's not so much fun doing this in the mud, but that's living in the tropics. So all of this massive, bulky trunk, banana trunk and leaves will now become chicken feed. You can hear Mr. Guinea Fowl in the background. That's because the female guinea is laying an egg. So he's just making sure that everything stays away from her. What is your problem? So if you look inside the banana, you can see all these channels, all these like round barks of channels, and that's what brings the water all the way up the plant to the bananas and nutrients. Get away, chicken. Go, go, go. Good work. So now we're going to take all of the cut up banana stem and store it in the chicken run so that each day I can come out and feed them some banana stem. They're trying to eat it already. I'll just show you how many eggs we've got so far today. We got 21 yesterday, so it's pretty good. So now I'm going to split the banana trunk up into layers, like that. And the chickens absolutely love this. Chook, 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 chook. This is a really great way to bond with the chickens. The more you feed them, the more they love you. Chook, 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 chook. Chook, 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 chook. Chook, 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 chook. And you can imagine this is just one piece of probably 20 pieces of banana trunk. And that's just one layer, and that will last for 3 weeks on that table, and it will still be good for them to cut up. Eventually it gets a little bit fermented, so after a while, if you don't want drunk chickens, you need to stop feeding it to them. Hang on, wait. Another thing that the banana stem is good for on hot days is because it's got so much water in it, I think it's really cooling to help cool the chickens down. Sometimes the chickens do get too hot. So if you ever see a chicken with its mouth open, like it's panting, that's the chicken trying to cool down. And our 3 black chickens, which are Australorp crosses, actually get the hottest, obviously I think because they are black, and they often open their mouth and pant breathe. So you've got to make sure in the really hot summer that their water is cold. And I also feed them lots of banana stem so that it cools them down. Sheila, hello, hello, what you doing? See how good the dogs are with the chickens? It's so cool. When we first got chickens, she wanted to eat them, and she would pant and salivate and get a funny look on her face like she was about to kill them, and now I trust her completely. This is Cherry. She loves to sit on your lap. And so does this next one, Pepper. Come on. I just haven't got enough lap. What's the matter? What's the matter? Hey? So the next thing we're going to do is show you some banana pups. That's how bananas spread. So you can start off with one banana plant and you will end up with heaps if you let all those pups grow. We're going to dig up some pups and we're going to transplant them to another area in the garden. Even if you didn't want to transplant them to another area, you still should probably pull out a few pups so that there's lots of nutrients and water for less banana trees, and then you'll get more fruit. So these are banana pups, young banana plants that grow at the base of the larger plants. So here, that's where we've cut an old banana tree down, and you can see there's a pup growing up the side there. Here's a pup. Actually, this one has 2 pups. It's got one here and one here. So once we cut this tree down, once it's had its bananas, Then there's another 2 to replace it. So this is the banana tree with the flower on it. And if you look at the base of it, here's a little pup coming up right now. It does have a few chews on it from the chickens, but it'll survive. So by the time this big banana has given us that bunch of bananas, we'll cut it down and we've got this little pup here that will grow up and replace it. So we're going to dig up some pups and plant them in another area. So I'll show you how Tim does that now. These pups that we're digging up have been chewed to death by chickens. So you can see where they've bitten into them, but they will still come back and grow really quickly. So you can see here, that is why we put the wire around the pups sometimes when we get around to it, because otherwise the chickens just chomp on the leaves. So here's Tim's digging it up. So you can see that was an old banana tree at the base there, and then this pup has grown up next to it. So that is a banana pup with the roots. So that is 3 brand new banana trees, even though they're not trees, they're herbs, on their way. So let's go plant some new banana trees. So you can see here we've got more bananas. So we originally planted this bigger one, and then there's the pup that's coming out the side. Over here is another little cluster of bananas. And you can see here's the big one. Always watch out for snakes when you're near bananas. And there's a beautiful little pup that the chickens haven't been able to touch. This is all Singapore daisy. That's a noxious weed, but nothing we can do about it. There's the other parent plant. And then here is quite a big pup coming up beside it. So in a few months, these clusters will be as big as that other one, and we'll be getting tons of bananas off of these as well. It's so amazing. You can see how wet the ground is because it's the wet season. See all the water seeping into that hole already? It is waterlogged. This land is made for water though. We can get 100 mils and it will just all flow down into the creeks. So you can see here, he's just dug a hole, puts the banana pup in there and then backfills it. And we're going to put the whole 3 in here just to give this cluster of bananas a head start. Bananas are really thirsty. They love water and they love nutrients. Some of the biggest banana plantations in Australia are south of Cairns in Innisfail and Tully, where they get, I think Tully has the highest rainfall in Australia, and Innisfail has a lot as well. As a region, Innisfail and Tully produce 90% of Australia's bananas. Pretty amazing. So our problem with bananas is that the wallabies and the chickens eat them. The chickens don't eat them enough to kill them, but the wallabies will eat them down to the ground and kill them. So we've got to put a wire surround around it just until the bananas get out of the wallaby's reach. So not too long at all. There are so many more ways to use bananas than banana bread and banana muffins. Having said that, Tim loves to make banana bread. So you can use bananas for so many things. And as I said before, not just the bananas, but also the leaves and the trunks. So the trunks and the leaves we feed to the chickens. The leaves we also use to wrap and cook foods in. So we do like a pan damper, which is damper inside a banana leaf, all wrapped up and then put into a cast iron pot and cooked on the stove top. And it is absolutely beautiful. The fragrance from the banana leaf permeates into the damper, and then you have that hot and crusty with some beautiful butter on it, and it just tastes amazing. And we learnt how to do that from a lady in Torres Strait the Torres Strait Islands on Thursday Island or on Hammond Island, and she makes it 10 times better than us, but it is still absolutely beautiful. The other thing that you can use banana leaves for is you can put just about anything with sticky rice and steam it, and again the fragrance from the banana leaf goes in. So I don't know if you've seen in Asia the little packets of banana leaf, and then you open it up and there's sticky rice and banana, or sticky rice and pork. You can also just do plain sticky rice in the banana leaf and steam it, and use that to dip into Thai curry or Malaysian curry, which is really, really beautiful. Probably the main thing that we use our bananas for is we freeze them. Because we get so many, we just freeze them in batches, and then we make fresh tropical fruit smoothies every morning. If I want something yummy in the daytime, I might get a frozen banana and either some nut milk or some milk and some cocoa, and put that all into a NutriBullet or a Magic Bullet or some sort of blender and blend it up and make the most beautiful chocolate milkshake ever. And best of all, and the least healthy way to eat a banana, is to make a banana fritter. You can even use green bananas and chop them up and make curry out of them. I've also made, it wasn't easy, but I did do it. I made like a green banana falafel by processing the green bananas to make banana, like banana flour, but like a wet banana flour. And then you add any sort of spices, cumin, garlic, some salt, and mix that up, form it into balls and then deep fry it. And that's like a green banana type falafel. So now I'm going to show you how many clusters of bananas we have around the block. They are all passion fruits that are growing up in the bush that the cockatoos have bitten and dropped on the ground. So overnight a big branch has fallen down, so Tim's just going to pull it out. Sheila. Lexi. Or not.
Not.
So down here are another 2 clusters of bananas down at the gate. This cluster of bananas is not as healthy as the others because it didn't get as much water in the dry season. But I'll show you what happens in the wet season. These are our water tanks, and this one has an overflow which actually flows onto the banana plant. Just show you over here, we planted these bananas next to the chicken run so that we've got easy access to more banana leaves to feed them. These ones have taken a lot longer to get going because they're planted so close to the rainforest. The rainforest and the bush tends to just suck all the nutrients out. So they've taken a little longer to get going, but now they are full bore, taking off. And that is it. That is how we plant, grow and harvest heaps of bananas on our self-sufficient property in far north Queensland, Australia. If you feel like it, and only if you feel like it, like and subscribe. But most importantly, stay calm in the farm.